What is up? Gonna get started here in just a second. So if you guys are watching the replay, this is a live video. If you're watching the replay, all you need to do is skip forward a couple minutes and it should get right into the content where we talk about the 5 best tips for prospecting and landing new clients. So this is going to be a sales related training. Again, yes, this is live. So if you want to skip past, the introductory type stuff, again, feel free to skip forward about 2 or 3 minutes and you should be right where you want to be. But really quickly, Steven, what's up? Alex, Brie, is it Bria or Brie? Bria? Brie? It's one of those, I know it. Alan, what's going on, guys? Y'all just do me a favor. If this video is something that you want to see more of, if selling and landing clients is what you want to see more of in the future, then do me a favor, hit that thumbs up button. Let us know. The more thumbs up we get, obviously, the more likely it is we will produce or reproduce another type of video because we know people like that topic. Angie, thank you very much. I appreciate that. So let me get my script ready. So what we're doing is to save on budget while Corona's going on and while revenue is slowed down. I thought, well, instead of producing a video and having all these people edit it and do all of this extra stuff where we have to pay a lot of money to get it done, I was like, well, let's just try and shoot one of these things live. And so we have a few topics that we're going to be shooting live over the next couple of weeks here, but I figured it would be cool because you guys get to hop on as well and kind of take part. So let's go ahead and jump into today's topic, which is the top 5. And if you see me looking over this way, it's because I'm looking at my notes to make sure I don't miss anything for you guys. That's the reason why our videos do so well, is because we spend time actually putting together a framework for them. So I want to make sure I don't miss anything for you guys. So again, if you see me looking over this way, I'm just looking at my other screen, trying to make sure I don't miss anything. But welcome everybody to my channel. Again, my name is Jordan Steen, aka Serial Entrepreneur. If you're not familiar with my channel, if this is your first time seeing a live stream, my channel is all about teaching people how to start a business in the marketing agency space. So essentially, if you want to run marketing campaigns, social media, websites, email, pay-per-click, search engine, whatever, if you do logo design or just graphic design in general, if that's your bag, this is the channel for you. And the reason why is because we have thousands of students and thousands of viewers that have all built successful agencies making anywhere from $1,000 to $5,000, $10,000. I had a student literally hit me up. I swear to God, guys, I had a student hit me up last week or the week before saying that she's done $300,000 in sales in the last 2 months. 2 months during COVID. So trust me when I tell you guys, this program is the best program out there for getting people giving people a true understanding into what digital marketing and starting an agency really is. So I encourage you, if you haven't done so already, make sure you hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so that way you get updated every time we either go live or produce new content, and so that way you can do the best possible job for your agency. But today I'm going to give you 5 tips on how to prospect for sales and how you can turn your prospective customers into clients super quick. There's a few things that a lot of people don't understand when they get into either a large sales role or just, they're starting their agency and they're trying to get new clients. They don't understand that there's a lot that goes into selling outside of just being able to talk to people, or I do well with people, or I get along with everybody. Sales requires a lot more thought, and really it requires a process and a strategy that if you put it in place and repeat it consistently over time, it's going to get better, which will produce better results, which means more money and more clients for you. Okay? So we're going to cover 5 different tips today that I recommend, and we're going to talk about those tips and what you need to be doing as an agency to make sure that you get the best results. But last but not least, guys, make sure that you stay tuned to the end of today's video, because if you do, I'm going to give you access to one of my calendars that I've created. It's a time blocking calendar, so that way you can add it over to your calendar. Now, granted, you do have to have a Google Calendar for this to work. This is only going to work if you're using a Google Calendar. And don't worry, even if you're Apple users, you can still download Google Calendars to get access to this template. But the template's going to show you how I when I first started my agency, how I was blocking off my day, the time blocking system that I put in place to make sure that I was able to reach out to enough businesses, follow up with businesses that needed to be followed up with, set the meetings that I need to set, and land deals, right? Stephen M, what's up? Digistamp, what's going on? Viz Styles, what's going on? How are all y'all doing? Shad, Hussein, what's going on, guys? All right, and do me a favor, guys, if you want to see more sales topics like this, again, just do me a favor, hit that thumbs up button, and if we can get, if we can get 50 thumbs ups, we'll do another sales-related video, because there's tons of stuff that I can teach you guys about sales, especially with the marketing agency. All right, guys, so let's look at tip number 1. All right, and tip number 1 is very, very straightforward. It's something that you should do whether it's for your own business or for your potential clients or for a client. The first thing you have to do is build your ideal client's profile. Okay, and this consists of a few different things. Number 1, we're gonna wanna make sure that we have a niche, right? We understand what niche we're going after. That's pretty clear. If you guys have been in this, at all, if you've been starting an agency at all, you understand a niche is very important. All right, my recommendation personally, 2 to 3 niches at most when you're first starting out. Don't do any more than that. Don't try to target everybody. And the reason why is because every new niche that you try to target, that means you have to spend more time learning about that business so that way you can sell to their customers better. But not only that, so you can understand how to sell to them and what they really need to progress and to move forward and make more money with their business, right? So understanding the niche is, one of the first things you have to do. What niche are you going to go after? My personal opinion, guys, if you're going to pick a niche, just pick something you enjoy. Pick something that makes sense to you. Don't pick something that you have no clue what it's about. You don't have any interest in it. It's not fun for you. Your niche should be, kind of the fun part of the agency where you like working with them because you like either the style of people that you have to work with, the types of campaigns you have to build, whatever it may be. All right. Number 2 is a sizable marketing budget. What does this mean? This means that they actually have to be able to afford our services. If they cannot afford our services, there's no point in talking to them, guys. One thing that I've heard is it's easier to find money than to create money, right? Meaning it's easier to find people who you already know are going to spend than it is to find people who don't have the money and make money come out of thin air, right? Make them go get a loan so that way they can afford your services. That is so much harder to do, right? So we're trying to find businesses that have the money to work with us, all right? So how do we do that? Well, it comes down to a couple of different things. Here's what I like to do. Let me minimize this really quick. So I've pulled up a couple examples here, and this is the first thing I look at. Number 1, this is a crappy site, right? So I know they need our help. Number 2, they don't have the Facebook pixel installed. Number 3, they're not even an HTTPS website, so it's not secure, right? So we're looking at a bunch of different things right here that already tell me that they need my help. But what's the next thing that I look at? Especially like a doctor or, let's say a contractor of some kind, the first thing I try to do is get an idea of how big their team is, right? Because if they have a team, that usually means they have full-time employees that are receiving benefits, but are also being paid a salary, right? That's a decent amount of money. You can see right here, this guy, Mr. Wilhoit, or Dr. Wilhoit, sorry, has a team of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 people. And we have 1 hygienist, an assistant, 2 hygienists, 3 hygienists. We've got 3 total hygienists, 1, 2, 3 assistants, and the doctor. All right, so we've got a ton of hygienists, a doctor. I can pretty much say with certainty that this business could afford at least $2,500 per month. All right, so at least on the can they afford it question, they got the check mark, right? Same thing here with cosmetic dentists. Again, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the About Us. And I'm going to find out, meet our doctors, meet our team. I'm going to figure out how big this team is. All right, we've got 2 doctors. That's a good sign. Now I want to see how big their team is, right? All right, so this is probably their total team. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 3 hygienists, a dental assistant, 2 dental assistants, 4 hygienists, 5 hygienists, and a practice leader. And we have another dental assistant, patient coordinator. Yeah, these guys can definitely afford our services. Plus, you can see the Facebook pixels installed. They've definitely got they have an HTTPS, which is good. And their website looks good already. Like, they've actually put effort into building out a quality looking website, right? So we know these guys are definitely at least qualified from a money perspective. Now, that doesn't mean that they're going to buy from me, but what it does mean is that if I go in and get the opportunity to pitch to them, they're not going to come back and say, oh, we can't afford this, right? That's the big thing you want to avoid, is wasting time on businesses that could never afford you to begin with. Another key thing that you want to look at, guys, is locations, right? The more locations a business has, usually the better. Now, neither of these businesses have multiple locations, but if they did, that would solidify my judgment even more, telling me that I can definitely, walk into this business and they can afford to pay $2,500 to $5,000 a month, depending on how much money they have. The exact budget we'll talk about a little bit later when we get into the qualifying questions, but at least as far as pre-qualifying is concerned, I've done a good job here. I know these guys can afford the services. Another couple of things you can look at, guys, are how many years they've been in business. If a business has been here for 25 years, they're probably, that doesn't mean that they are, right? Because if this was one doctor, they had one assistant, and that was it, and they've been around for 25 years, they just wanted something small, but they probably can't afford $2,500 to $5,000. Not just because someone's a doctor, guys, doesn't mean they're loaded, all right? Get that perception out of your head. A doctor does not always have money just because they are a doctor, especially if they are a single person practice. If they're the only person in there that does anything, they're probably not making enough money to spend $3,000 to $5,000 a month yet, but they could be if they started growing. And then the last thing you guys are wanting to look for is the level of influence or authority when making decisions. You want to make sure that when you're actually going through this process, so you've started to qualify and you understand that the business can afford your services, you want to make sure that you can actually reach out to the proper person, right? You don't want to reach out to someone who has no say-so in the decision-making process, right? You have to find the decision maker. Good thing is with doctors, offices, and practices, it's either the practice manager and the doctor leaves those decisions up to that person, or it's the doctor, right? Super easy to figure that out. If it's not a doctor's practice, and let's say it is a contractor, then it's probably the business owner, right? It's not difficult to find out who these people are. So really quickly, guys, in the chat, I want you guys to leave an answer in the chat to this question, okay? And if you're watching the replay, just leave it in the comments. But my question to you guys is, what are your prospecting techniques? What do you still struggle with, and what do you do well with, right? So what are some struggles that you see in prospecting for yourself? And then what are some things that you do good at, right? And what are your techniques? Do you just go online and find businesses? Do you walk into businesses with, a one-pager? What's your prospecting method? I would love to see that in the chats and in the comments on the replay. So you guys let me know, and we can talk about that for just a little bit. And while I wait for you guys to answer, we're going to move on to point number 2. So point number 2, guys, is creating a prospect timeline. All right. And what this means is understanding when to communicate with these potential businesses and how to communicate with them. All right. So based on HubSpot, 3 p.m. and later for local time. All right, so basically 3 p.m. and later is going to be one of the best times to reach out to businesses, and this is a study done by HubSpot. And the reason why is because if you look at most business owners, or not most business, but most marketers like us, or most sales reps, a lot of sales reps actually will start contacting people from 8 to 11 a.m., Monday to Wednesday. All right, but you have to think about what's happening. We just got back from the weekend. I don't have anything, I haven't been working yet because I've been off for 2 days. So now I have to get back in the swing of things. I have to check emails. I have to put in a plan to make sure I have everything ready to go for the week, right? So I'm not answering your calls or your emails yet. I'm more than likely going to do that a little bit later in the day when I finish my planning and I'm kind of back in the swing of things with my workplace, right? So do not do that. Do not contact and I'm not saying don't, all right? Every industry is different. This is just industry standard. So try it out and test it for yourself. If 8 to 11 a.m. works better for your type of niche, then do that. Don't go to 3 to 5 just because I said 3 to 5 is the average that most people should be spending their time calling, okay? Test it for yourself. Find out what works better. But and also days of the week are Thursdays and Fridays are the best. Best times of the month are the end of the month, 28th to the 31st, okay? Because people are they're a little bit more receptive towards the end of the month, the end of the day, and the end of their week. In the beginning of the day, beginning of the month, beginning of the week, they're a lot more wrapped up in their own world, right? And so understand that just like you, they have things they have to do, so try to find a better time to reach out to them when they're not doing anything. So here is a suggested schedule that you could follow, all right? Day 1, an introduction of some kind, right? We're not trying to sell yet. I personally don't like the hard sales approach, especially with digital marketing sales. So we're just going to go with an introduction, something to try to, break the ice and at least just say, hey, and get a conversation started. The key here is getting the conversation started. Not about marketing, just in general. It could be like, hey, did you see that football game? Like whatever, as long as I can get them to start talking to me. Number 2 is day 2. Provide value, a snapshot of their digital footprint or that audit that we discuss, right? Day 3, follow up about the snapshot or the audit. See if they had a chance to look at it. Point out some major points in the audit that might make sense for them to look at, right? Day 4, service offer and meeting schedule, right? So try to tell them, hey, on day 4, you've seen the value we've provided. I would love to be able to take a chance to sit down with you and maybe put together a strategy that you could put in place yourself, right? And obviously, as the marketer, we know that our goal is we want them to think they're going to do it by themselves, but in the end, they're going to use us to buy, or they're going to pay us to do it because it's much more feasible and it makes more sense because they don't know how to really do it themselves, right? They're not digital marketers. All right, day 5 and 6 is the discovery call. So one of those days, you don't have to do it both days, but one of those days, excuse me, this is when you have the discovery call. And now this is when you are going to spend time trying to figure out things about their customers, how much money they need to make, what their budget's like, what marketing they've done in the past. A lot of people ask me, well, Jordan, how do I find out the budget without just saying, hey, what's your budget? Because that comes off as a little forward, right? So in that case, if we're trying to talk about budget, or if I'm trying to get a budget from someone, the best question you can ask is, so Mr. Business Owner or Mrs. Business Owner, what type of marketing have you done in the past? Okay? What this does is it opens them up to answering a question about what they've paid for, right? So you can say, they'll say, oh, okay, well, we tried PPC for a little while. We were spending about $5,000 a month. We did social media marketing. We were spending about $1,500 a month. And you can get an idea now of what they're willing to spend. That doesn't mean that is their exact budget. Maybe this is 2 years later and they're making more money and they can afford more. But it does give you an idea of what they can or cannot do, right? Next, after you do the discovery call, so days 7 and 8, you're going to spend time pitching the proposal. So after you do the discovery call, you understand what they're looking for, you understand their business a little better. Now we're going to put together the proposal, and we pitch the proposal day 7 and 8. Day 9 and 10, we're going to spend closing and onboarding. And that's it. Really, in the proposal call, that's when you close them, right? That's when you actually get it done. So closing in day 9 and 10 is more like, okay, we got everything from you. We got your payment. Here's your onboarding form. Fill this out, upload documents and images or whatever here. That's what we're doing in day 9 and 10. But that is a kind of like a mock schedule that you could use to keep in mind when you're actually trying to reach out and talk with these businesses. There is a flow that you need to go through to make sure you collect all the proper information, that you create the right campaign. I love all these people who are out there who are like, oh yeah, I'll close in a day. Like I'll close them in a day. The same day that I get them, I close them in that day. Which, I'm not knocking that. Obviously, it takes a lot of skill to be able to sell someone in one day on a multi-$1,000 package. My issue with that is the fact that you're probably not providing them the best type of marketing that could fit their budget, right? And that's why we like to really customize as much as possible the campaign without going too far out there to where it's going to cost us way too much money to manage that campaign, okay? And let me see where we are at. 23:15, we'll say. Because I got another card for you guys. I have to write down these steps. All right, so guys, really quickly though, because of the fact that you're going to have these sales calls and you have to prospect and you're trying to close them, you're going to get objections, right? You're going to have people who object to what you're trying to say, or it's too expensive, or I don't have the time, whatever the objection may be. If you want to learn about how to overcome objections, make sure to check out this video up here in the top right-hand corner. For those of you that are live, you won't see it just yet. You'll have to come back and watch the replay, but up here in the top right-hand corner, or you can just go to my channel and look up my objection video. But check out that video. It'll teach you how to overcome those objections. All right, let me make sure we don't have any major questions. Oh, yeah, let's go back to what you guys said. I get a few leads from my website weekly, but most people don't reply or are hard to get a hold of later. How to find clients and find ways to contact them and engage with them. Facebook and Instagram is great for that. But before I give my soft ask, I like to groom clients by engaging them via social media. Marshall, exactly. That's what I'm trying to say is don't go for the sell immediately. People don't want to be sold immediately. They want to be nurtured. They want to find a friend who happens to have a marketing service that they can sell to them and it makes them a shit ton of money. That's what they want. They don't want Mr. Sales Guy coming in, hey, I don't know you, but if you spend $5,000 with me, like, even though you could benefit their business, that's not how they want to be sold. So, and think about yourself. You don't like people calling you randomly to sell you shit, right? You don't know them. Why are you calling me? I don't want your shit. I'm doing stuff. Same exact thing with them. So you have to understand it's not about just trying to call, and that is an approach. You can definitely land deals that way, but the better way to make a connection is to start building and nurturing that lead first. 3 to 5, perfect time for night owls that stay up late and wake up around noon. I'm his next big case study. Check me out. Tay, what you doing, bruh? Are you the long lost brother of Uriah? Using LinkedIn Sales Navigator to find specific leads, Email Hunter to find the exact email of that lead, and Milkshake to send out cold, automated, personalized email campaign. Alan, sounds like you have a good process in place, but my next question would be, what's your follow-up process? Because if you don't have that in place, you only have the front end, and that's super important, guys. Follow-up is key, which is what we're going to get into here soon, which is prospect nurturing, which is tip number 3. All right, you cannot convert most clients instantly. You cannot. You will not convert most of your prospects instantly into clients. And the reason why is because people don't typically, especially with a package that's several thousands of dollars per month, they don't impulsively buy that kind of thing. They want to think about it. They want to see the value in buying that thing, right? So don't expect to convert most clients instantly. What does that mean? That means I need to have a follow-up process in place that will do that closing for me, or at least get me the meeting so I can then go close in the proposal meeting, right? So most will require more interactions and continuous follow-ups. So this is where your CRM, guys, and I'm telling you, if you haven't seen like my CRM video, we just put it out. It's like top 6 CRMs. I challenge you to go watch that video and at least make it to the end where I show you the CRM that we use and how we use it. And not to mention there's a free link there for a badass lifetime deal where you will be grandfathered in at the price that we're getting it at. So I strongly recommend if you just go to my channel, click the videos tab and look for my CRMs video. It's one of the newer ones. Go towards the end of that video or just check the description and you'll see the actual CRM that we use. But guys, you need a CRM in place for follow-up. I'm telling you, you don't understand how much easier your life becomes when you have a system to follow up with people automatically for you. Like, that's the best part. We have a webinar that they watch, then once they're done with that, a series of text messages and emails goes out automatically that gets them to set the appointment, where I don't have to do anything. And once they reach a certain status in the campaign and they don't take any action, then we move them out. So that way we don't annoy them or piss them off or waste time even on people that are never going to buy from us. So don't forget to provide relevant and valuable information about their business that they could have possibly missed and explain why it should be done immediately. And this is all in the follow-up stuff, right? We're giving them things like, their pixel not being installed, so that's why social is not doing anything for them, or just the fact that they're not spending on any ads whatsoever, but they're posting, which we all know organic is trash, right? So that's useless. Or they need a lot of help on their website because they're just a local business and SEO is super important to them, right? But they don't have any structure with regards to SEO. So we need to work on that, right? So finding reasons or things that you can give to businesses that they will not know. And that's why it's easier if you're going to blanket it and do an automated approach. You do something that most businesses struggle with. So the Facebook pixel or not having great SEO structure, right? Those are the people that I want to send through those automations. And then finally, show some possible effects to help them realize what they could potentially face in case they continue to neglect the problem, right? So basically what we're saying is, if they have a problem, show or paint the picture of what it could look like if they continuously try to avoid that problem. Another thing that you can do is, and there's tons of stuff that you can include or content that you can include in your follow-up process, but things like testimonials, right? Them seeing other customers that you have happy is going to make them want to buy. showing them case studies of what could happen if they had a successful campaign going. How by remarketing to people who visit their website, they're going to be 50% more likely to, sell that person, meaning that they could increase their sales a total of 20%, whatever. But that type of thing is what needs to be done in the follow-up process. If you've ever gone through, or if you've ever visited my website, right? And you'll notice our Facebook ads campaign that we created, it comes out, it talks about what's included in the program, right? That's like the first ad that you'll see. What do you get when you join 2.0, right? After you see that, then you're going to start seeing testimonial videos. Then you'll see Billie Jean talking about me as an authority piece, right? Then there might be some type of offer if we're running an offer that month, right? So we're not just saying, hey, here's a product, buy it. We're saying, hey, here's a product. We know that one of your biggest questions is, what do you get when you buy it? So we put an ad out there for that. That's follow-up, right? Then we put an ad out there for testimonials. Then we put an ad out there for authority. Then we put an ad out there for an offer if we're doing an offer that month. So we have several layers where we're following up. Plus, not to mention, you guys are either on my email list or my messenger list or something where we're hitting you with a message. Just want to make sure I'm not missing any important questions, because this isn't really a Q&A session. I'm glad you all are here. It's not a Q&A session, but just wanted to make sure we're not, because sometimes people have a really great question that goes along with it. Okay, cool. We're still on track then. All right, what time are we at now? 30:50. So guys, that's pretty much it as far as the follow-up is concerned. Those are the biggest things that you want to keep in mind. So really quickly, guys, if you want to boost your ability to get clients for your marketing agency in just a few steps, I'm not going to tell you what this is about, but guys, as far as visibility and your ability to close, this video is super important. So when we get done and this gets uploaded, come back and check out this video up here in the top right-hand corner. Promise you'll love it. All right, guys, number 4 in the list of 5 is to perfect your sales pitch to convert more customers. Basically, guys, what this means is know your shit. And what I mean by that is, don't go into a business trying to sell them something and not having taken some type of educational program before. If you're watching YouTube videos thinking you're going to do this for free, you're mistaken. And I'm not even trying to sell my product. If you want to go buy Ty Lopez's, go ahead. You'll come back to me anyways because my product is 1,000 times better. But I'm telling you, do not try to go sell digital marketing shit without knowing what you're talking about. Like, that is the biggest mistake people make. And it's like, hold on, you're telling me you're trying to go sell marketing services when you don't even know how to fucking market? What? Like, it's so ass backwards, it doesn't even make sense. So know your shit, be the best messenger, right? Know how to tell a story is essentially what that means. Connect with people. Don't just go in there and blaze through a sales pitch and then expect them to buy from you, because they won't. You have to build that connection. All right? Be confident. Confidence is key, guys. If you don't, like, if I came on this video right now and I was like, well, to get clients, it seems like you guys would not trust me. You wouldn't listen to a thing I had to say. The reason I still have a channel that's working is because I've built confidence in you guys to trust that I know what I'm talking about, right? Through action or through experience or through, example, okay? And this is what you guys have to be able to do in your sales pitch without going into an hour-long presentation on how SEO works. You have to be able to show your confidence in your ability by how you present yourself, the things that you say, the way that you act, everything. And then finally, be decent. Just be a decent person. Be nice. Be respectful. Say yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, yes, sir, no, sir. Even if you're not in an area where that is commonplace, right? I grew up in the South. I grew up with Southern parents. They're very yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, yes, sir, no, sir. If not, I got popped in the mouth as a kid. Like, you don't talk back. You don't disrespect your elders. But in the North, that's not as big of a thing. I remember working with this lady from New York who hated it, absolutely hated it when I said yes, ma'am to her. And I eventually stopped, but it took me a while because I was accustomed to doing that. But point being, guys, is being decent, being respectful. Those little things like that help people like you. And sales, as we know it, guys, is about liking the person you're buying from, okay? So be decent. One of the last few tips that I want to give you guys is prepare a script and ask the right questions, right? Or give the right information about their campaign. What I'm really saying here, though, is prepare a script. And not to say you should go into a proposal meeting and, so this is Digital Marketing by Jordan Steen. Like, dude, if y'all do that, you're not going to do it. It needs to be a sales pitch that you've practiced and that doesn't seem scripted. It seems organic. It seems natural that you're doing it, right? Because you've done it so many times. That's the way I'm actually able to land more deals now. If I go pitch something, is because of the fact that I've done it 1,000 times. I know what people expect to hear or to see or for me to do for them to want to buy from me, right? And you guys have to set that same precedent. The best way to do that is to create a script for yourself, or at least a template that you follow every single time in your presentation. All right, this maintains consistency in your message every single time. It overcomes immediate objections because you're covering most of the objections that they might have in the proposal, and it gives you a confidence boost because you're not sitting there wondering what you have to say next. If something is planned out, you're confident, right? Because you know what you have to say next. And if you know what objections, which there's usually only about 5 different types of objections you can get, and you can plan for them ahead of time. If you know how to overcome those objections ahead of time, sales becomes a game. It becomes a very easy game of, can I respond to their question the right way? That's it. Because if I can answer these questions and relieve them of any doubt, then I will sell them pretty much every time, right? As long as the budget's there. All right, so what timestamp are we at? And Alan, I see what you're saying. I'm not saying it's impossible for you to do without taking any training. What I am saying is most people, it is impossible. For those of you that do make it, you're going to scale a lot slower than someone who does have training or the information they need without having to. Because here's the thing, and you can argue it all you want, but you're wrong. And I'm not trying to call you out. The reason why is because if you've never done it before, you have to pave that pathway, right? Whereas if I've done it before and I teach it to someone, they don't have to pave any pathways. They're just taking my knowledge and copy pasting it. That's essentially why. So it's always faster to take some type of training and have someone teach you how to do it than it is for you to try and figure it out yourself. That's really the point I'm making. And what I will say is also, most people who, at least in this business, who don't take some type of training tend to fail because they don't know what they're doing, right? So again, not about trying to get you guys to buy my product. I believe if you guys want to buy it, you will. If you end up buying someone else's and that works for you, then great. All I'm saying is take your training seriously. This is just like any other profession. We don't just go out there and start selling shit if I'm an attorney and I don't have my license to be an attorney. Like it's just not, it's not feasible. It doesn't make sense. People won't buy that, right? Oh yeah, let me get the timestamp. Timestamp is 37. And the timestamp is because, are you looking for a simple process to land more clients for your marketing agency? Check out my video. It's the 5-step process that we've created to guarantee that you will land deals every single time. But again, come back to this video later if you're watching it live. If you're watching the replay, go check it out. All right, the 5th tip, everybody, is using the right set of tools. Guys, tools make everything easier. I don't care what you're doing, like especially in this business, software makes life easier because it can automate most of the process for us. For example, we're gonna hop on over to my screen over here and we're going to look at, oh crap, that's right, it's Lead Connect, believe.io. I typed in .com. Lead Connect. This is automation for LinkedIn. It does all of the outreach, the automation follow-up process for you. So that way, once somebody says, yeah, I'd be interested in talking, then you can step in and take over. I promise you guys, if you haven't checked out Lead Connect and you're on LinkedIn scraping leads, this is the tool you want to use. Dude, it is so cool to use because I can actually put in a search on LinkedIn, right, to find a specific type of person that I'm trying to reach out to. And then I can take that search URL, I plug it into Lead Connect. It takes all of those people on that list, goes and connects with them, sends them a message, and then they are automatically connected with me where I can reach back out to them once they communicate back, and I can, say, hey, let's talk about marketing or your goals or whatever, right? But super important to do or to use tools like this to get new clients. Another tool I want you guys to know, and this is one of my favorite ones, Hunter.io. Hunter.io, I can take in a company domain. So for example, let's go over here and get this guy. I want to find out, and it doesn't always work because some people know how to hide their email address publicly, But I want to find Dr. Wilhoit, right? All we have outside of that would be, yep, he's got to be the guy. He's the decision maker, right? So I'm going to put in their URL. No, I'm not. That's the stream key. And take this, put it in here. And we can see info at ecobbdental.com. So all we got was an info one. But guys, I'm telling you, a lot of the time, you can go through these websites, find out the business owner's first and last name, and it'll be like B. Dawson at ecobbdental.com. And B. Dawson was Dr. Brian Dawson, right? So I know that is his email. I'm telling you guys, this is a great way. But you can see they pull all of this from different areas where these emails are left online. There's tons of tools out there that you can use that are just like hunter.io. This is just the tool that we prefer. It's super affordable. And again, it's going to help you get the right person at the right time. But guys, I also have, let me see, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 other tools that we have at least in this training that I'm not going to do on the live video, but you can find them in the blog article if you want to see what other tools we use at my agency to generate more leads, to get more sales, things like that. Make sure to go right below this video. All you have to do is close out the chat if you're on your phone. If you're not on your phone, just click the description or the arrow to drop down the description, and you can find the full blog article there with all of the tools that we actually use for prospecting and getting leads. All right? All right, guys, and last but not least, there is one more video I want you guys to check out. All of these videos are about landing deals, getting more clients, getting better at getting better at sales, and getting more money and revenue for your agency. So check out that video as well. I promise you, all of the videos that we've provided you guys are going to be top-notch sales-related videos for marketing agency owners. And last but not least, I'm going to run through a couple of additional tips, and then I'm going to give you one more video you can check out, and then we'll close out for today. Guys, one of the last tips I want to give you when it comes to prospecting, and most people do not get this is why they fail, is they don't hit their numbers. It is simply a numbers game. If you are cold calling, cold emailing, networking, whatever, it is a numbers game, and you need to understand your numbers. So what do I mean by that? My recommendation that I give to all my students, the minimum amount of people that you should be reaching out to on a day-to-day basis cold is 30 to 50 new businesses per day. All right? After you finish calling out 30 to 50 new businesses, you need to follow up with 20 to 30 businesses that you've previously reached out to. So these are people that you've already contacted, made contact with, but haven't set anything valid up yet, right? So your numbers are super important. If you're calling 10 businesses a day and you're not getting anywhere, that's why you're not getting anywhere. If you're calling 20 businesses a day and you're not getting anywhere, that's why you're not getting anywhere. And I'm not saying that you can't land deals like that, because you can, but it is a numbers game, and these numbers are very specific for a reason. I'm telling you 30 to 50, not 10 to 20 for a reason. Okay, so if you go out there and you do 10 to 20, you come to me, Jordan, it didn't work. I don't want to hear it, dude. I don't, because you didn't do what I told you to do. Those are the type of people I cannot stand. I will not help you. If I tell you to do one thing and you try to shortcut it, not going to help you, period. Get off my channel. Like, seriously, you're just going to shortcut everything. You're going to end up failing anyways. You might as well just end it early. Number 2 tip that I want to give you guys, turn off distractions. Take this and throw it out of the freaking room if you can't stay off of social media. Like, most people have the hardest time staying off social media, and it's not that difficult. Do you want to make money or not? If you do, stay off your freaking Facebook and your Instagram and your TikTok and all that other shit that isn't helping you get anything done. Number 4, build relationships during the call. Stop trying to sell. Try to become a personable, likable human being. That's it. Don't try to sell. Like, initially, don't try to sell. Number 4 is focus on clients who are already spending money. Again, guys, we're not trying to make money. Sorry, let me rephrase that. We're not trying to create money. We're trying to find money that already exists, right? So much easier to do. And then last but not least, guys, up in the top right-hand corner, we have one more video. If you want to know how to get more clients using a tried and true methodology, there's another one right up there. But guys, that is it. As promised, if you want to get the link to my calendar schedule that I was telling you about in the beginning for time blocking. It's actually already in the description of the video too. So you got the blog article down there. You've got my calendar down there. You've got access to my Done With You agency program application. If you want me and my agency to help you build your agency and get it off the ground in less than 2 months, and I'm talking about fully off the ground in less than 2 months, you need to check out that program. But guys, that's pretty much it. Let me head over to the comments really quick, or the chat, make sure we don't have anything too massive. No, Nathaniel, the mentorship program that we run, the MAP mentorship program, is a group setting. The only way you can do one-to-one mentorship is if you actually reach out to me personally or reach out to my brand and we set up a one-on-one agreement. That's much more expensive than $10 a month. Obviously, my time is worth way more than $10 an hour. Otherwise, I would never make it to where I want to be, right? And you guys, I'm sure you wouldn't want to work for $10 an hour as well, right? You're trying to make it to $100, $1,000 an hour. So that being said, obviously one-on-one is a little bit more expensive, but if you're looking for something like that, then we can do it. Jesus. Jeremy Dennis does not like Tay Nelson. All right, guys, but that is it for today's video. I hope you all enjoyed it a lot. Again, make sure to follow my channel, subscribe, make sure to check out the blog article, make sure to check out the tools that we mentioned, and also make sure to check out our Done With You agency program if that's something that interests you. If not, and you don't have that kind of money, DMS 2.0 is the #1 SMMA program on the market. So make sure you guys look into that as well. All of everything that I just mentioned is down below this video in the description. But guys, oh, and the little time blocking calendar. Again, that's in the description. But that's it, guys. I'm going to get out of here for now. I hope you all have a great rest of your week. And I will see you guys on Thursday night where we go live at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And that is our Q&A session. So if you haven't seen us before, we go live every Thursday night at 7:30 p.m. EST. And we do a little Q&A session so you and I can do some little one-on-one help. All right? But that's it, guys. I will see you next time. Until then, Serial Entrepreneur out. Bye.